Hey, welcome to the Wise Guy podcast. This is Mark Tamayo,
Yo,
Tamayo
I'm
Good
Mr.
Times.
Memories.
And who we got on the mic? What'd you say?
Mr. Memories.
Mr. Memories, Ralph Torres here. Well, welcome to our Wise Guy podcast, guys. Um, we are getting on today on this Wednesday. It's a little hot over here in California. I'm at probably 85 right now. It was earlier about 100. I'm not sure how hot it was over there where you're
Ooh.
at, Ralphie,
I'm not sure. I think it was somewhere in the 80s.
in the 80s as well.
Yeah,
And you hit the gym today, right?
that I did
That's a daily
every day
duty.
almost.
That's a daily duty.
Yep,
Get
gotta
your get your swerve on. So, what do you
gotta do
normally
it.
work out on? Do you have a regiment? Do you guys do like legs, arms? All these things. You know how they do. You
Yeah,
have
I
certain days
split it
you do
up.
it.
I do. I have my leg day and my upper body day and my cardio day, and I just mix it all up a little bit here and there.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I normally try to work on my gut.
Well, that's the kitchen. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Got to
right.
put down the Doritos.
Oh, yeah. Well, I eat a lot of eggs in the morning. I've
Oh,
been
that's
eating a
good.
lot of
Yeah.
red meat. I was
Mm-hmm.
never a red meat person. I've
Mm-hmm.
always liked chicken,
Okay.
fish, seafood. I'm really into poke. I know you love sushi.
Oh yeah, I love poke.
Oh, bro, we
Yeah.
can be eating poke and sushi all night long, right?
Oh
All
yeah.
you can eat.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, if you guys like poke, let us know what the good poke spots are around in California. I'm over here in the high desert area. I believe Ralphie's in the Inland Empire area. So hit us up. My late good buddy, shout out to Christopher Mata, rest in peace. That boy used to know all the hot spots.
Yeah, he did.
And he used to shoot us like, "Hey man, you got to hit this spot. Let's go here for dinner. Let's go here for lunch. Let's go here."
He was
I,
always popping out with obscure information.
right? Oh,
Where
bro,
you're like, what the hell? Where'd you get this shit from, bro? Like, how do
he
you
was
know that?
he was a book of knowledge, bro. But he
Yeah.
never, again, he never reached his potential. It's funny because whenever he used to come over, we used to have Jeopardy, right,
Mm-hmm.
on our PlayStation or Xbox. So Felicia and I, we would get on and we'd play with him. And bro, he would kill it, dude. He knew everything on there. And I said, Mata, you need to go on Jeopardy, bro. I said,
Yeah.
you can win some money, man. Go over there and start, you start. Oh, no, man. Look at me. I'm a thug, you know. They're not gonna allow me on Jeopardy. They're not gonna. I said, bro, you gotta go. I said, your knowledge, it's just off the charts, bro. You know stuff that just like it's just random stuff. Like he
Yeah.
knew, like if you talked about soy sauce, he knew the
Yeah.
origin. He knew
Yeah.
where it fucking was made. He knew what ingredients.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So shout out to Mata,
Man.
man, and rest in peace
Yeah.
to that guy. He passed away really early, but people that
Yeah.
have
Rest in peace, brother.
people that have diabetes, make sure you guys take your insulin. Make sure you guys take your. So this is a service announcement. Make sure you guys take your medication. Don't bypass that. He had to be rushed to emergency twice and he almost passed away earlier than he passed away because he wasn't taking his medication. So people that do have diabetes, make sure you're taking that medication, to stay regulated and always test yourself. And again, don't eat all that sugar stuff. So
100%.
so yeah, so for me, I've been eating a lot more red meat, chicken, fish, eggs. I have to eat eggs, bro. Every morning I have
Yeah.
to eat breakfast. That's the most important meal for me because I wake up around 3:34 in the
Right.
morning to start my dogs and start my day. So the first thing I do is I exercise them. Takes me about an hour, hour and a half, and then I come back in and I cook me up like 4 eggs.
Yeah.
Cook me
Yep.
a little piece of meat. I'll
Mm-hmm.
try to drink water. I've been trying, I'm kind of a bad habit by drinking too much coffee
Mm-hmm.
because I only get 3-4 hours of sleep each night. So it
Right.
seems like I have to drink coffee just to regulate my body throughout the day. So I'll drink like two cups of coffee in the morning, say around 7, and then I'll drink one around 1.
Yeah.
So I need to start drinking more water. Again, on that
And
75-day
try to
mark.
get some sleep.
Yeah, that's what you have to, bro. You cut your life, short if you don't get enough rest, and you got to revitalize your body.
Yep. That's where it heals, man. In the sleep, in the night.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's a little bit of mata and stuff, and a little bit about eating. But yeah, if you guys know any hot spots of poke and sushi, let us know. We love all you can eat spots. so if it's a hot spot and we love it, we want to eat more, but
Yeah.
don't eat too much rice, man, because that's not good for you either. It has a lot of sugar in it. So what's going on, Ralphie? What was your day like today?
Oh, just same old thing, man. Just out there hitting it, doing my thing, running through all my paces, staying disciplined. That's the biggest thing for me is I try to keep to my patterns and do what I got to do no matter what. Don't break it even when I don't feel like it.
Sure.
Obviously, that's discipline right there. Because there's plenty of times where you lack the motivation to do something, but you just got to keep doing it no matter what. You just keep doing it.
Yep. Yeah, because once you stop, it's like something like like they say, you stop doing certain thing, you lose it. You stop speaking a language, you lose it.
Right.
And things like that. So you got to stay structured and stay disciplined.
Absolutely.
These dogs, it's funny because I tend to like watching the news and watching what's going on in the world, but these dogs tend to say, "Nope, Daddy, let's go. We got to go out. You got to train me.
Yeah.
You got to do this and got to do that." So they keep me structured, and that's really good when you
Right.
have a high drive working dog like that. That's very that needs that extra exercise.
Right.
They keep you in shape, bro.
Yeah.
They want, you need to go out there because now you're doing a disservice to them. So, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I know you have some babies too over there, some doggies.
Yeah.
You
Nothing
gotta
the
take
size
care
of yours though. Mine are little doodles. You know what I mean? I think my biggest dog is 20 pounds, but
Sure.
oh
They
man,
still
they're
require the
animals.
same, structure
Oh,
and exercise and stuff.
the thing about the dogs is that, and I still haven't gotten used to it because every once in a while, well, I'd say like once a day at least, um, I'll be in the kitchen and I'll turn around and my dog Cody is standing up walking towards me, and it looks like there's a toddler in a fucking dog suit. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, would you stop it? You're creeping me out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
get down on all fours. He just comes walking up and he's just looking at you. I'm like, this
On
is
his
so
hind
weird,
legs?
man. Yeah, he just walks around on his legs.
That's crazy. I think they're prone to do that
Yeah,
though.
no, they are. It's a
Those
doodle
doodles.
thing, but I
Yeah,
still am not used to it because, like I said, it's
sure.
just weird looking. You know what I mean? And then their
Yeah,
eyes.
you got an
He just looks
alien.
so human in the eyes. You know what I mean? So he's just staring at you, and I'm just like, don't sneak
That's a
up on
trip
me sneak up on me like that again. I'll
for
smack the
sure.
shit out you, bro. You do that again. Come on. And that's the other thing. I talk to my dogs like they're my buddy. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
sure, of course.
I'll have conversations with them and just go at it. And I know Miss like, who are you talking to? I'm like, Cody.
Hmm.
Like, he's not human. He's human to me, man.
That's
This,
right.
this guy's human to me. This is my bro over here.
Hey, it's gonna be funny one day they talk back, bro.
I'm waiting for that. Honestly, with this dog, I'm waiting for that. Would not
Yeah.
surprise me one
Well, you
bit.
never know. Elon Musk might be, developing something for that.
Who knows?
Have you
Somebody's
seen that
gonna do
new?
something.
Have you seen that new? That's coming out in a few years. I think it is. It's a prototype, but it's from Kawasaki, and they have that motorcycle, but it looks like a horse.
Mm-mm.
It's a robotic motorcycle, bro. So you sit on it
Right?
like a robot. I mean, like a motorcycle, but
Uh-huh.
then it has legs, and it freaking goes over all types of terrain. We got to check it out one of these days. We have to bring it up. But yeah, it's a trip, dude, and it's from Kawasaki, and they say it's driven by
Mm-hmm.
your movement,
Hmm.
by your muscle movement. So if you're just riding it and you want to just pull back a little, then it'll
Mm-hmm.
stop. If you want to move forward, or the further you move your momentum, it goes faster. And then
That's
if you move to
crazy.
the left or to the right, it moves in those
So it
directions.
looks like a horse.
Dude, it is trippy, bro. So yeah, we'll bring it up. Hopefully I can get it in as we're speaking so people can see it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just different things developing. So as they say, whatever we see today, right, in
Yeah.
technology or things like that, they've already produced it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's in
They've-
development.
yeah. They've been working on it.
They've been
Exactly.
working on it. So when they finally, share it to us, it's already been in the works. So do you
Hmm.
imagine what they have right now that's going to be introduced to us in
Oh
20 years?
yeah.
It's a trip, dude. I
Yeah,
see these
for sure.
planes, I see these jets nowadays, right? The movement and how they just maneuver,
Oh yeah.
they can stay in one spot and just like do a dance.
Yeah, it's
And I'm like,
insane.
man, that is
Insane.
crazy, dude. So yeah, so our technology and things in the industry of that is
Yeah,
off the
think
chart.
things I can't get used to. You know, there's a couple movies out there where what's that guy's name? The one who played Joker. Joaquin Phoenix, is
Oh,
that his name?
oh yeah, yeah. Joaquin Phoenix.
Where he
Uh-huh.
like gets a robotic girlfriend.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know what
sure.
I mean? And they're doing stuff like that. I'm like,
I
if
think
that
it's
could
called
ever
Her.
take the place of a real woman, and you've got some issues. You know
For
what I mean?
sure,
Like, come
bro.
on,
I
man.
think it's called Her.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's the
Yeah,
name of it.
I think the movie is called Her. Again, me and Ralphie. If you guys don't know, I mean, personally, people around us know we've been watching movies since we were kids. So we're big movie buffs. We'll be starting to do some reactions on movies here on this platform. Maybe some short clips and things like that. Maybe talking about some actors too, their funny habits. I think Ralphie brought that up, so I think that's a really good topic about our favorite actors and what type of funny habits they have. So I think that's something that we can talk about too. But yeah, there's some good movies that are going to come out. I think the one that I'm looking forward to is F1, the IndyCar racing with
With
Brad
Brad
Pitt.
Pitt.
That looks good. Because I've always liked Days of Thunder and those type of,
Hmm.
I was in a NASCAR back then.
Yeah.
But IndyCar, I think this movie is going to be good. I mean, I'm not sure. Hopefully, they don't do too much special effects.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, it's funny that you bring up Days of Thunder. Is that was a Tom Cruise movie. I liked it. It was cool, right? It's entertaining. Um, but I just happened to come across something on Instagram where a guy from another podcast told his buddy to go watch it. You know what I mean? So
That's
he could review it and they could talk about it.
that's
And he
Andy
was like,
Frisella
he's
and
like, I
DJ.
watched it. It was crap. You know, the guy was like, it was crap. I didn't like it. It was horrible. I was just laughing.
Yeah, so he was telling DJ, he was saying, "Hey, go watch this movie. It's a national anthem to America."
Yeah.
And DJ's all, dude, I don't feel it.
Yeah.
And he goes, DJ, have you watched Days of Thunder yet? He says, no. He goes, okay, 747 days of DJ being
Being
gay.
gay. Yeah. Yeah. That's the one.
So
Oh,
yeah, so
shoot.
to each his own. Everyone's gonna
Yeah.
like certain movies and things like that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, some of these movies, you can't. It's somewhat undeniable of the action packed, movie and especially the music.
Right. Well, if
You
you
know,
didn't grow up with these movies, you know what I mean, then it's a different era and you're not used to this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But you also like that's a movie where you've got to like racing. You know what I mean?
sure,
You got
sure,
to
sure,
like Tom
sure.
Cruise. So if you like that kind of stuff, it was filled with a great cast and it was like I said, it's entertaining. Is it
No,
um movie of the
Oscar,
year? You know,
no.
no, but it's a great entertaining movie, you know,
Yep.
at least in
Yeah,
my book.
most definitely. I can watch it over and over just because I like that, and I'm into
Right.
NASCAR.
Right.
So that's why, I tend to like it, more than most people. But yeah, I can see different perspectives on it, and like I don't like
Right.
certain movies that maybe other people like, or um, I always say this, you can recommend a movie to me, and I'll try it, right? And
Right.
I'll me and Felicia, my wife, we always give something 5 minutes. It's that just like Instagram or anything else,
Right.
people want that initial attraction to what they want to see because they have
Right.
a short attention span,
Right.
right? So
It's
for
easy to
us,
swipe.
yeah, and there's so many things on the damn, so many platforms. You got fucking Paramount Plus, you got Prime, you got Hulu, you got Disney, you got freaking all these different platforms, and they have their own.
Tubi.
There you go. Tubi. I mean, you have all these different platforms
Yeah.
that have their own original movies,
Right.
right? Or shows or things like that. So, it's hard to get into so many things that you're going to waste your life away watching these things,
Yeah.
right? So that's why we always say, when someone recommends a movie to us or something, we always, wait 5 minutes, and it has to attract us, or the initial storyline has to attract us
Yeah.
before we start, investing in something, because
Right.
sometimes this damn series go on forever and ever.
Oh yeah. I normally give it a little more time than that, just because like certain what am I looking for here? Certain shows, I
Yeah,
got to at
that
least
really
watch
depends.
one full episode before I make a judgment. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because
most definitely,
sometimes
most definitely.
it doesn't get going until the second one.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I'm just, I'm talking out of my butt,
Yeah.
really, by 5 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
we give it a little more time than that,
Yeah.
but
I know. I know.
with Felicia, like she, I tell her, hey, you need to watch this, right? And she'll give it like about 15, 20 minutes, and then she'll walk away, and
Right.
I'll keep on watching it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, like, like you said, sometimes the second episode gets better, the
Right.
third episode gets better,
Right.
and then they got you, bro. And then you're like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
I can't wait for the next episode.
Yep.
So it gets better and better and better as it goes. So yeah, you got to give it a little more time. But like I said, like you said, I think maybe 1 or 2 episodes is kind of fair.
And I think that that also comes a little bit with age. You know what I mean? Like
Sure,
it's learning patience, right? Which is something I've definitely learned in my old age, which I wasn't like that when I was younger, is
sure.
patience. Before it was like I wanted to do everything right away. I wanted everything right away. I couldn't miss out on nothing. Um, and now I'm like, well, if it doesn't happen, it's okay. I'm a little more patient. I'm a little more calm on things.
For
You
sure.
know,
Yeah, for
definitely
sure.
got taught some life lessons on that. Because when you force something, you know what I mean. You force something, sometimes it goes far off from what you wanted. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
I definitely try not to force anything anymore. I
Yeah.
just let it
Yeah.
flow.
Patient is key, but you got to strike when it's hot too.
Right.
And when opportunities come, you got to take that advantage and strike, and do, what maybe you wouldn't do, because they say that the uncomfortability, the unreasonable man rules the world, because everyone is doing certain things,
Right.
but when you go against the grain, or when you do something different and you get in your own lane, you're going to go faster because you're not behind everyone doing the same thing.
Exactly.
So I think, yeah. So sometimes, but patience is really key, bro, because I believe that you're always put in a place or in a position where you're meant to be,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes, my philosophy now, just like I think we created something, the top 5 things that we learned in our last 10 years that we didn't know. Um, you know, when things come, you just have to strike, and be patient when they do come, and when those opportunities come, you just gotta jump all over it.
Right.
But yeah, so patience is one thing.
Yeah. No, it's patience mixed with judgment. You know what I mean? Like over the course of time, you learn this is something where I need to show a little more patience. This is something where I need to be a little more ferocious and go after it.
Yeah,
Um, and you try to balance those things, so you make less mistakes than you did when you were younger, you
sure.
know. Um, like for instance, one of the things that I used to definitely have when I was younger was, what FOMO is?
FOMO.
Yeah, the fear
No.
of missing out. Okay, so like
Oh, okay, okay.
people will
Nice.
do things all over because they don't want to be left out of something. You've
Sure.
got a group of friends going to do this or going over here or whatever it might be. Excuse me. And you've got to join in. You've got to do it, even if
Mhm.
it means you're depleting your bank account or you got to call off from work, whatever it might be. It was like, I can't miss out. I can't miss out. And then as you get older, you realize I don't mind missing out. You know what I mean? I don't have that feeling anymore. If I can do something, I'll do it. But like I said, it goes back to I don't force anything anymore.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always like having fun. I like being involved. I like having experiences, but I will never force it to happen if it's just not there,
Yeah.
Whereas when I was younger, that was something I always did.
Yeah. 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 It's true. Especially, with me, like, I miss out on a lot of things, because I'm focused on my business right now and growing
Right.
it. And, they say it takes sometimes 5 to 10 years before you really hit good because you have to put in all the work ahead of time. Right.
Exactly.
So for me, it's like, okay, do I want to build my business? Do I want to sacrifice maybe going on a vacation or doing certain things? I mean, it's still a quality of life and balanced lifestyle. You still have to, you know, make time for you.
Right.
But for me, for right now, because I'm trying to leave a legacy and trying to, set up myself for retirement,
Right.
right? So my business just starts growing and it starts working for itself because
Mhm.
I put in all the work already.
Right.
Right? And I don't have to do it anymore. Now I have employees doing it. I've taught
Right.
people how to do certain things. So
Right.
now I can actually enjoy all my hard work that I put into it. And again, tomorrow's not promised, bro. So,
No.
that's one thing I learned too. Like
And that's
tomorrow's not
satisfying
promised.
for you,
Yeah,
that you don't have a boss. You know what I mean? You're your own boss.
for
You
sure.
know what I mean? You're motivated by yourself.
But that's hard too,
No.
because yeah, that's very hard too, because sometimes you do sometimes are discouraged
Hmm.
because you don't think that you're moving fast enough, like you're saying.
Right.
Or you're missing out on certain things. So that's somewhat a little, and like, I've always said this, no matter what you do, there's always going to be pros and cons.
Absolutely.
So because I'm pretty much a planner, before you do anything, write down on a piece of paper before you make the choice, top 5, top 10 things. This is going to benefit me if I do this. This is going to be detrimental to me if I do this,
Hmm.
And if there's more cons, then it's not a really wise choice for you, right?
Right. Exactly.
But if there's so many pros to it, like you said, I'm my own boss. I don't have to punch in. I, do this, and I stay home with the dogs, and I get time to do things, and I go shopping whenever I want, and
Right.
all these different things, I make my own money. I don't have to pay certain things, all these different things. But then if the pros are out there, it's like, all right, bro. Well, you're not going to go out. You're going to
Yeah.
sacrifice for going on vacation with your family. You're not going to do certain things. You can't get to certain things. But you know, have you ever heard? And this is a good thing for everyone to check out too. For anyone, have you ever heard the value of hierarchy? It's a
No.
it's a leadership business tool that
Okay.
people do. So the value of hierarchy, right? You write 10 things on a board, right? Piece of paper or whatever. What is most valuable to you, right? Whether
Hmm.
it's family, making money, creating a business, spending time with this, with kids, going to do this, going to the gym, do this. When you write down those 10 things, most likely the top 5 you're going to be doing on a daily basis.
Hmm.
The bottom 5 are you're going to push to the side, right? Because you're never really going
Right.
to get to them because the top 5 is mostly your focus. So that's
Right.
basically what they teach you in somewhat business and leadership. That look at your value of hierarchy, and those priorities that you put on top 5 is what you're going to mostly focus on. The bottom 5,
Hmm.
yeah, you may get to them, but they're not really a priority.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even though they're on your list, you may get to them, but they're not going to be the top priority. So that's just a little tool that we can use, to help us out by making the wisest choices for our future.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good key. But yeah, so what else do you think that you learned in the last probably 10 years or 5 years, or that you think that
Well, I
now?
would say that something that I've learned to control from when I was younger to now is my emotions. As far as making decisions when I'm extremely happy or angry or frustrated because, I kind of had a temper when I was younger. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And not that it's can't still be there, but it's way more under control than ever before,
Most definitely.
and that's just because whether you're extremely happy or extremely mad, if you make a decision and you're in one of those zones, most of the time it's not always right. You know what I mean? And I'll give you an example. Let's just say that you're having a great time, you're out partying with your friends, and this is your cutoff now. You got to go home. You got to go to work, but you're enjoying yourself. You keep going. You know what I mean? And then the next thing you know, you're calling off, you're shorting yourself money, you're not going to work. And you're just kind of regretting things, right? But it was a good time. Or you get extremely mad at somebody, you know what I mean? And you say things and then later on you regret them, or you do something. So I always tell myself now, I learned, I made so many mistakes. Hey, just calm down.
Yeah.
You just wait, separate yourself from a situation if it ever happens and think about it. And if you still feel the same, whichever way you go, then go ahead. That's the choice you need to make. That's what you need to do. And then
forget about it. And then just
forget about it. Yeah. And just move on. That's it. But I definitely do not like making decisions when I'm emotional. And I try to keep my emotions out of that and just be a lot more logical and factual. Like they say, there's two ways people make decisions, emotionally and logically. You can't really do them both at the same time.
No.
You know what I mean? So if you want to do something where you're involving facts and logic, then that's how it's going to be. If you're making decisions when you're emotional, then you're going to deal with it. And, sometimes that can work out. But when you're doing, you're making life decisions, I think you really kind of want to use a little more, at least for me, logic and facts.
Yeah. And that's 100% true, bro, because emotions will get you in trouble, especially with your wife.
Oh, yeah.
You're arguing, you have a dispute, or you're freaking have a communication and you guys don't agree, but then you're getting a little hot, and then all of a sudden you want to say something, in the heat of the battle.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like 5 minutes later, man, oh man, I'm gonna regret that, bro. I shouldn't have said
it. I'm lucky. We have a good shit talking relationship, man. We will just talk some smack to each other here and there, man. We'll say some things, and sometimes she'll say something to me, and I'm just like, "Oh, you went there? You went there? All right." It's like, okay. I just gotta laugh because it's just too funny,
Well, again, your wife, Melissa, same thing with my wife. They knew what they're getting. When they married us, bro.
Oh yeah.
We ain't never gonna hold our tongue.
No, I'm never gonna hold it.
We're gonna speak it, right? We're not gonna say anything hurtful or anything like that. But sometimes, and I know I'm not sure about you, but for me, back in the day, I used to bottle a lot of things up.
Yeah.
Right. And I used to hold it in, and not say anything. And then that just one trigger would freaking light the fuse, bro.
Yeah.
And I would go berserk, and then I would make bad choices. Right?
Yeah.
Punching walls, breaking windows, doing certain things like that, just being a knucklehead, bro.
Yeah.
And, now I'm way more patient, like you said.
Right.
I'm not trying to get into, because when I hear something like almost like a trigger for me, I'm like, okay, like you said, I'm just going to take a minute, walk away before I say.
Oh yeah, like this morning, I'll tell you, we got into it a little bit, and to me, this is not my fault, right? This is her fault. Okay, we've been together 16 years, so you would think that she's used to every once in a while waking up tied up. You know what I mean? So she wakes up tied up and she's mad. I'm like, come on, this is gonna happen sometimes, girl. You're gonna be tied up. I'm gonna spank you. I have a little fun, and then I'll untie you when I'm done, and you can start getting ready for work. But every once in a while, she gets a little angry about it. But come on, you know what I mean?
That role play.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like what I do.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get a little choking, a little spanking here and there.
Don't
come
tell
on,
all your dirt on the podcast too soon, Ruffy.
No, I know, right?
So funny.
Oh man,
but
it was a good time.
Well, most definitely, yeah. Because
it was a good time.
Our wives are almost like our best friends, bro.
She is,
and we can speak. We can speak. Freely, right?
Right.
But if we do it, we got to understand that they can do it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And I'm glad I'm not a very sensitive person. You know what I mean? So, like there's nothing you can tell me or talk shit to me about that I haven't already told myself, and I don't know. So it's okay. Give it to me.
Oh, it is so funny, bro.
Yeah.
So right now we're gonna take a little break and turn on this little music here because Ralphie loves these songs here.
What are you playing for us today? What are you playing
So
for
this
us?
is a Shooting Star by
Oh,
Bad
Bad
Company.
Company. There you go.
Love me do, I think it was. From there, it didn't take him long.
It's a good jam. Good
So if
band.
you guys have any music recommendations, let us know and we'll play them, and we'll do you a shout out that this person gave us a recommendation. And if you want to follow us, and if you're enjoying this podcast, make sure you follow and subscribe to get more videos like this, and make sure you hit that notification button to stay alerted for every episode. All right, so thank you. As we move forward, as we build this podcast, I think it's going to be enjoyable for you guys. It's going to be fun. Again, we have some guests set up, so some more wise guys that want to come and talk, but it's going to be fun. So hope you guys make sure you follow us on YouTube at the Wise Guys Podcast 25, and then we can get some more traction, so we can give you more videos. I think Ralphie and I agreed that we're going to do maybe one episode recorded and do one episode live, so we can give you guys a chance to start interacting with us, ask questions, and then we can start interacting. So what do you think, Ralphie?
Yeah, absolutely. So, to anybody watching, if you've seen, our first one, we're new at this. We're working out the kinks. We're figuring things out, and we're learning as we go. But it's not going to stop us. We're just going to keep going, and hopefully we can entertain you guys. So we're going to talk about serious things sometimes, but also have some humor, and just make it a fun place to be and for everybody to talk. And hopefully, you guys can watch us for 15, 20, 30 minutes and just have a good laugh or learn something, Yeah. And, if you have any recommendations, anything you want us to talk about or give our opinion about, shoot it to us and we'll do it.
Most definitely. So I think one of these, and this is Ralphie and I grew up on, and I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of this band, but listen to this. Name it, Ralph.
Styx.
Paradise City.
Yep.
Styx is the jam.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what you guys work out to, but I work out to some music like this that's going to stimulate me. I can sing to, right, while I'm riding the Peloton. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, I've got everything, man. I've got some country. I got rock. I got rap. I got a little bit of everything, man, in my gym playlist.
Most definitely. Yeah, we grew up with a lot of stuff. I even like punk, Christian rock. I mean, you name it. If it hits my soul, I'm listening to it. But yeah, so that's just a little bit about what we're gonna have here on this show. Again, we're gonna start doing like movies, reactions, or recommendations. Again, if you guys have any movie that you guys recommend for us to watch and we haven't seen it, maybe we'll be on here on a Friday night watching a movie together, right?
Yep.
And going through it, and then pausing it in between and talking about the scene or talking about this and our reactions. I think there's a lot of need for that. A lot of people like seeing that, so we can do something like that. So hit us up. The more interaction that you guys have with us, the better we're going to get. Right?
And I want to give a shout out to my 390 crew. It's my fantasy football league. They're ready to support us and watch it, and I know they're going to be critiquing and talking a whole lot of smack. So I can't wait to hear it because they'll give it. You know what I mean? All we do is make fun of each other. So they're definitely going to make fun of me on this, and I'm going to have some fun with it. But they're going to support us and watch. So it'll be good times.
Hey, you know what they say? It doesn't matter if it's bad or good or indifferent reactions, as long as we're getting reactions.
Oh yeah, exactly. As long as you're watching, that's all I care about.
That's
right. What I mean?
That's right. And
you come watch. You can talk some crap in the comments. I don't care.
Right. And make sure you like and comment, and like Ralphie said, comment in the because what that's going to do for us. I mean, you can sit here all day long and listen to us talk, but if you guys don't put the like button, you guys don't make the comments, we don't boost our page, we can't give you more content, and hopefully one day we can start sponsoring certain things, and and actually, like Ralphie said, shouting out and having people on here based on our podcast. So again, the more interaction that you guys give us, the better for us, and the better for you as well. So, but yeah, this is all about the wise guys. Have you? Okay, so I'm going to tell you something because I'm going to have my buddy and my doctor friend, and he's Italian. I believe he's Sicilian. But I told Ralphie this the other day, and he was asking me about the wording that we have on the Wise Guy podcast on the TV, and it says, "Come talk trash with us with friends of ours." So the reason why I put that, because normally when you're sitting around a table, right, with a bunch of friends, and you're introducing a new person to that table, just by saying, "Hey, this is a friend of mine," right? That person is not to be trusted. He's sitting down with you. He's not a buddy to tell your dirt with, because he's going to go run and tell, right? But when you say, "Hey, he's a friend of ours," right? This guy is a made man. He's ready to talk shit. He's ready to take it. He's going to take it to his grave. He's not going to say anything, right? So that's why we say friend of ours. So when we have guys that are on this podcast, it's all about friendship. It's all about family, right? And it's about taking care of each other, right? And rising and raising each other up, motivating each other. Like the saying goes, iron strengthens iron, right? So with us having this podcast as well, is us giving you some value that we've learned, and we're just trying to share it with you. So hopefully the younger wise guys can take this and just be better in life, and just be better from our trials and tribulations, and maybe take some learnings from it. So that's why it said that. That's why I put that, because I don't know if you've seen it, Ralphie, back in I would say during 2021 when
Mhm.
TikTok was hot, right?
No.
There was a Italian guy that, and his uncle, right? And he would sit down and he would tell all the dirt on the Italian traditions and culture.
Oh, is that right?
And that's where I got that from, because he sat down and his uncle was like, "Bro, when you sit down with these guys, you don't want to say this and you want to say that." Huh? And so I was like, "Oh, that's awesome, dude." So now I kind of know
Yeah.
when I sit down with someone, and if they happen to be Italian and they say, "Hey, this is a friend of mine," okay, man,
Yeah.
I'm not talking shit in front of them,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
But when they say the other, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell all my dirt, because
Yeah.
that guy's gonna tell his dirt too.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, it's just a funny saying, and I think it just it goes with
That
the
is
name
where you
wise
say
guy.
something out in the open, because normally what do we do? When you're introducing people or someone, you go up to someone, hey, you whisper in there, don't say shit about what we did last night in front of
Yeah,
these fuckers, all right?
right,
That's between us. Hold on. They're not like us, okay?
yeah, right,
These are cool, because you have your different friend groups and stuff like that.
sure,
And everybody's capable of different things, but there's some of them that are more wild than others,
most
and
definitely.
I'm kind of like, okay, I know these people I can go, and these friends I can have a picnic with. These are my party friends right here. These are
Yeah.
my down ones right here. These are the ones I do it all with. But the picnic ones, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not discussing plans with them.
yeah. You only just discuss what's in the sandwich.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's it. That's all you're getting.
But yeah, I always, and I think we always talk about, through experience, right? And back in the day, when I was a supervisor and manager and stuff like that, and I used to have parties and UFC parties over, I used to have my employees over, right?
Hmm.
So I would say, "Hey, look, when you come over here, this is like Las Vegas, all right? It stays here. Don't be
Yeah.
taking this shit back to work, spreading
Right.
little rumors of what I
Yeah.
did or what they did or whatever.
Yeah.
You keep it here, because the next time if I hear of anyone talking crap, you are
Yeah.
never inviting over here again."
Right. Right.
So
Yeah,
that's,
no.
we kind of keep it in house. You know what I'm saying? So the people that you can trust and people that you can't
Oh
trust,
yeah.
and that's why you have an inner circle, right?
Right.
But yeah, it's so funny, man, how how we perceive certain things, and
Yeah.
it's true to the fact.
Yeah.
But
And there's some people who just, you give them a little bit of this or a little bit of that. They just like to talk and they just start spilling secrets. You know what I mean?
mhm,
I'm like, I got you. I got you now. And you don't get to hear shit anymore, man. If you're just spilling something little like that, come on. You
right?
know?
That's
Yeah.
bathroom talk, man. That's
Yeah.
bathroom.
Come on, man.
So
Keep that lip
yeah, man.
tight.
So okay, so we've been going on for a little bit, about 40 minutes. Um, let's kind of end this real quick with a quick little tip to leave our guests with, Ralphie.
All right.
So, what is one, let's say, movie recommendation that you've seen, whether it's horror or action, right? That you can recommend to some of our viewers that that they should go see. Um, Now, I know you like to go see movies in the theater, IMAX and all that good stuff. Um, is this movie made for a movie theater, or can you see it at home? So give
No,
me
you can
your
say that.
movie, and then
I
give
think
me if
that
you would see it in the movies.
if I'm going to give you a movie just for someone to see and you want to be entertained and you like comedy, um, an old classic one for me is Drop Dead Fred, which I was telling you to go watch that one. Look it up somewhere. It's hilarious if you like to laugh. I love the joke. I love comedy. I'm always talking shit. So to me, that's a good one right there, where you can
Okay,
sit back and,
and you can see
enjoy
it
it.
either in the movie or because I'm not sure if they're playing
I
it
don't
at
know.
home.
It's not at the theaters anymore. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
stream it somewhere.
Okay, so check out Drop Dead Fred. I believe it's with Phoebe Cates.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not sure. Is it? No, it's. I was going to say Brandon Fraser, but
No, what's
no,
this guy's
no.
name? I want to say his name is French Stewart, but I'm not 100% off the top of my head.
Okay, all right. So yeah, we'll look it up, and yeah, so look it up. Drop Dead Fred. My recommendation, and I'm not sure if you've seen this, Ralphie. You probably have, and it's really hilarious. Um, it's called Waiting.
Waiting.
Waiting
Sounds
is
familiar.
based inside about kids that working in a restaurant
Mm-hmm.
and how their customers
Mm,
interact with them, right?
right.
And if someone's like bitchy about their plate,
Yeah.
they take it back to the damn cooks, and
Yeah.
the cooks would drop their balls in the food,
Yes.
and they would be so nasty, right? So
Right.
nasty, and it's almost based on like a
Yeah.
chili
Licking the
restaurant.
toast and stuff like that.
Oh my lord, bro! All
Mm,
that nasty stuff, and they would have
I'll hurt
they
somebody.
yeah. Oh, most definitely,
Yeah,
most
I heard
definitely.
somebody doing that kind of stuff.
Um, they had this game that they used to play where they would surprise each other by
Hmm.
showing their wings on their balls.
The bat.
The bat, exactly. So, say for instance, one of the waiters or the guys or the cooks, uh, you know, one would be in the cabinet
Yeah.
or something, and then they would just turn to the left, and here's the damn cook. He's
That
on
was
the line.
outrageous. That was outrageous. I'm not even gonna lie. That was even for me. When I was
Bro.
watching that movie and they did that the first time, and then it kept popping, I was like, what am I watching over here? What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, so go see it because I'm not going to tell you the end because it involves a girl and
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I haven't seen it in a while, but I'll
well,
have
I'm
to
not telling you.
rewatch
I'm,
it.
I'm trying to tell the viewers. Go see it. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it is freaking hilarious if you
Yeah.
like comedy and dirty comedy like that, like
Yeah.
like we do. So with that said, I appreciate you guys following. We're going to head off this evening. So we can enjoy our evening. Hope you guys enjoy your evening. Excuse me. And get on with us maybe this weekend for a live so you guys can interact with us. And we're going to try to do that once a week. So we'll let you know the time. Same bat time, same bat channel right here at the Wise Guy podcast, right? And we're going to be talking, some truth, some lies, and some comedy.
Yeah, absolutely.
and
All comedy.
and hope you guys enjoyed this podcast and hope you guys join us for our live so we can start interacting with you guys. All right. So thank you again, Ralphie. Always a pleasure.
Oh, thanks for having me, brother.
You know, while we're doing this together. So,
Yeah.
I have you, you have me, and hopefully we have, our inner circle. And again, it's all about, building each other up.
Absolutely.
So, with that said, thanks again. This is the Wise Guy Podcast. Signing
Peace.
out.